Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
So much for joining us in this final day of this 3-day talk. It's really great to see you all this morning, and we are looking forward to Swamini Ji's final day of these talks and our journey through this beautiful book. Thank you.
The mobile phones have been disturbing people, so I urge you once again, please do check that your phone is on silent. Sana Vavatu Sahano Punaktu Saham Vinavaditamastu Mavit Vishavai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Hariam. Nirvana Shatakam is already being used by that seeker who is at the stage of Nididhyasan. And so is familiar with the terms and terminologies that is there in the Shastras. And a lot of references are being made to concepts that have been explained in Gita Upanishads and various Prakarana Granthas. I haven't been going into the details of those specifics, but rather been doing an overview in this brief period that we have to reflect on this beautiful stotram. So we've seen negation of the body, negation of the mind, and negation of even the workings of the minds in terms of likes, dislikes, the different emotions. and the accumulation of all the desires. So we'll continue with verse number 4.
न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखं न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखं न मन्त्रो न तीर्थं न वेदा न यज्ञाः न मन्त्रो न तीर्थं न वेदा न यज्ञाः अहं भोजनं नैव भोज्यं न भोक्ता अहं भोजनं नैव भोज्यं न भोक्ता चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं नन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्.
When we're studying Vedanta, it's very important we know at which level we are discussing. So there is this relative reality, this transactional work, where you wake up, have to negotiate traffic to get here, have to go off to your jobs, have to pay the rent, have to, all those things that exist in terms of what we would consider life. And there is that functional aspect and how to operate in that functional aspect. And so the term I've used is relative reality. And then in Vedanta, what we are aspiring to do is transcend our mind and experience absolute reality. And so when discussing, are we discussing relative reality? Are we discussing absolute reality? Because we tend to stay here in relative reality. We tend to get, even we hear something very profound about absolute reality, and then how can I use that at work? But what to do with the kids? And so when it's Dharma Shastra, then we're talking about how to, what to, when to. And that's all given in the scriptures. And when we're talking about Moksha Shastra, then we're not focusing on that. Then we're completely withdrawing from the relative world. We're trying to transcend it. And so giving it much less attention. In fact, seeing more clearly that it is impermanent, it is fleeting, it isn't the source of our happiness. So that we can turn our mind to absolute reality. Nirvana Shatakam is Moksha Shastra. And so this first line in verse number 4, na punyam na papam. In relative reality, we know that the law of karma works. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and so do good actions. So we get good results, because we're going to have to face the results. It's going to come at some point in time. And so we spend so much of our time purifying, creating punya. So even after this life, wherever I end up, we can use that punya in heaven or in selecting my next birth. It's almost the most valuable commodity we have, punya, because it comes with us wherever we go, whichever lifetime, helping to become the vasanas that then influence even the way we act and think. So at Balvihar level, do good. Be good. The better you are, the better your life is. And then we get to Moksha Shastra, and Punya and Papa are the same, because they tie us back into the karma cycle. Whether I do punya or I do something that brings me pap, I have to be around to experience it. And so, at the level of Moksha Shastra, we detach even from this. What? Wanting good, wanting pleasure, wanting success, wanting praise. Because that's what punya is. Punya manifests in our life as praise, success, comforts, pleasures. Natural tendency in the relative world of reality to want all those things, to seek all those things, to ensure all those things. Whereas spiritual seekers, it's binding. It's ensuring I'm coming back. Or it's ensuring I'm spending time in heaven. And usually the more punya, the longer we spend in heaven. And so, no need. We don't even want to hold on to this. It might be there. We might have punya. We don't want to acquire it. We don't want to claim it, identify with it. And so in Moksha Shastra, the sense of duality really has to get loosened. In the Dharma Shastra, the sense of duality is very much operational. Do dharma, avoid adharma. So we want to be healthy, we want to avoid disease. Even from a point of view of, the more healthy I am, the more I can serve, the better sadhana I can do. Relative reality, duality is pretty much experienced and constantly being negotiated. In Moksha Shastra, remember, we were drawing from this reality where duality controls our thinking. And so, to know in the seat of meditation, this really helps with that sense of non-judgmentalism. So when we were talking about yesterday, we asked the question, who am I? And then we leave the mind open, we leave the heart open for us to be able to just see what comes. And then sometimes thoughts will come and we then judge them, nice thought. It's a sattvic thought. Who am I? Compassion, love. And then some thought will come of maybe irritable. Who am I? Irritable. Or who am I? Selfish. And then we think bad thought or negative thought. Who am I? And then maybe some jealousy, some lust, some vengeance. And immediately bad. So even in the watching of our thoughts, so quick to enforce duality. This is a good thought, this is a bad thought, this is a sattvic thought, this is a tamasic thought. And in the seat of meditation, where we want our hearts to remain open, this kind of judgment immediately closes. Immediately, the cognition kicks into place of how to do this, how to get rid of this, and doesn't allow the mind to just stay present and watchful. And judgment can be so strong as well. And so verses like this where it says, na punyam, na papam, na shokyam, na dukkham. Again, this duality of happiness and sadness. And so who am I happy? Who am I sad? Who am I fearful? It doesn't come in these exact words. It will come in a thought. Right? So we'll say, when we ask the question, who am I? Then we think, someone really wanting to get a child. a transfer, a. And so that in that wanting there is fear. Will I get it? Will I get it? And so it's implied. The thought won't be fearful. It will be a scenario. And so, of course, there's identification with the thought because we're feeling it, but there's also judgment of the thought, which strengthens the thought. Good thought, bad thought. Yeah. Usually fear will be considered negative. But when we lift ourselves to na punyam, na papam, na shokyam, na dukkham, it doesn't matter what the thought is, because I'm neither. I'm neither the thoughts that bring punya, I'm neither the thoughts that bring papa, I'm neither the thoughts that bring sorrow or the ones that bring happiness. And so the minute the judgment reduces, the mind is able to stay open. Because judgment will then lead to a progression of thinking. Yeah. Without judgment, the mind's more likely to stay present, silent. Na mantro na tirtam, na veda na yajna is referring to the means by which we use to attain this knowledge. Yeah. And one of the most beautiful things is so many beautiful things about the tradition and the Veda and this knowledge. And one of them is that it tells you already in the very beginning you're not going to need it forever. So often the way we live in relative reality is we develop dependencies. Right? Even something as simple as, never mind our gadgets, and we get dependent on the gadget, right? So you use a particular software and then you keep needing to use it. Somebody else brings in another software and then now this is too difficult and this is too complicated, give me back my... And so we get used to doing something, even with technology or even a physical thing, a tool. Even going to the gym, you can't go once, you have to go daily. Not a bad dependency. Remember, this verse, we're not thinking in terms of good and bad, but it has to be something that if we don't go, then we miss it. We don't feel quite right. So in a way, a lot of what we do creates dependency. And that's just part of needing to be consistent to maintain, because body, mind, intellect is made up of material matter and it is going to deteriorate. So unless you maintain it, it's going to continue to deteriorate. Whereas the Vedas say, you're going to use me to learn this, and then you're not going to need me anymore. So already on the onset, there's no dependency. There's freedom from even the technique that I am using, the process that I am using, the path that I am walking. That's the very word moksha, freedom. And it's freedom from everything, even the means by which I get there. So mantra. Mantras, of course, Vedas are made of mantras. And we hold on to them. So these verses are mantras as we chant them. The entire verse can be seen as one mantra. The Upanishads, each verse a mantra. And then mantras, of course, the small power capsules of Om Namah Shivaya. Or just Om. We don't even need more than Om. And we chant the mantras for so many reasons. We chant the mantras to help us gain purity of mind. Because remember, in the preparation stage, without purity, the knowledge doesn't hold, doesn't catch. And so a tool or a means that we use to purify our minds. And then the mantras imbibe so much wisdom. And so we're using the mantras to gain that knowledge that helps us to transcend our mind. That Shravanam is to gain the knowledge, Mananam is to gain the knowledge, Nididhyasana is to experience the knowledge. And so that Mananam, Shravanam is listening to the mantras, expositions on the mantras, commentaries on the mantras. Mantras are small, and then we unpack them to be able to truly enjoy them. And then, once the knowledge is gained through Mananam, in Nididhyasana, we're letting it go. Already in Nididhyasana, we're letting the mantra go. We're holding on to essence, not words. And so, the sense of complete independence. Independence maybe isn't something we think of as a very spiritual quality, but it's essential. Right? Bondage is dependency, because it's not somebody else binding us. Yeah. Our own mind is. Our own mind is binding us. Our own mind is taking away our freedom because we need to have body be a certain way, mind be a certain way, the room be a certain way. Our own mind is binding us because the thoughts come and go without us quite being able to control them. Judgment comes so quickly. Before we even realize we've made a judgment, we've already made so many. And so our own mind binding us. And then our own mind is where freedom will be experienced. Not in the mind, but through the mind, we lift ourselves to that point where we can transcend it. And so non-dependency or independence, something we need to practice from an everyday level. Yeah. And so Gurudev would give us all these quotes that comforts come as guests, they stay as hosts, and then they enslave us. We become dependent. And so sadhana is to have that ability to not get dependent on a comfort. Austere living is just that. Right? I don't need to have a soft big bed, just sleep anywhere. No need for so many nakras. Don't need to have this pillow, that pillow. One to hold, cannot sleep unless I'm holding one. So at least 3 are needed. And then comforts. And then I'm not able to sleep, dependency. Right? Unless I get this particular type of food. Then so much discord within my body. I'm not even talking about taste. Independence is, in our daily life already start not being dependent, allowing that flexibility. And maintain it, like deliberately don't do something too often. Because the minute we do it too often, it becomes a dependency. Even something like tea, have it every day, it's a dependency. Have it 3 times a week, no longer a dependency. I'm not even saying don't have it. Neither is scripture. Scriptures is not saying don't. It's just that understanding that the minute I do it too frequently and I become dependent, I'm bound. The more I keep doing things that I'm dependent on, the more bound I am. And so, hear how beautiful this path that we're walking to get to freedom frees us from the very beginning. And sometimes, when people jump ahead to moksha shastra without the preparation of the mind, then this can be a little bit problematic also. Because if we let go of the Vedas too quickly, then we don't get to transcend, we don't get to purify. And then we don't get to moksha. It's something like Gurudev would give that example of the pole vault in the Olympics, that you're running and you use the pole, you place it into the ground, and then you lift yourself. And if you let go of the vault too quickly, you're going to fall there and probably get hurt. Whereas you're supposed to hold on to it until you swing over that beam, and then you land in this nice big, well, it's padded. I'm sure it's not that comfortable also, but at least you're not getting injured. And limitation of an example. In moksha, when you transcend that, you're free. There's nobody, there's nothing to get injured. And so the beauty is that it causes independence, and it assures independence. It's our maturity to know how long to hold on to it. And when we're following it, having purified, having done the preparation, that maturity is there. There's no harm in having it. If once attained, Vedas no longer mean to me, they can still be cherished, they can still be worshipped, they can still be referred to. But now the dependency is not there. Just like how the endorphins and to feel better and to have more energy and to be healthy every day. And that, in the same way, makes us feel better, makes us feel more connected to the Lord, makes us feel... Now, if we don't... We're already in that state of sattva. We already feel that connection to the Lord. You can still chant the mantra. And now the mantra is not a need or a dependence. So, the mantra, Kirtam is the yatra. So, the means is all the different sadhanas, all the sadhanas that we use. And focused mainly on the Vedas, the means of knowledge, but this referring to the practices we can do as spiritual seekers. All of us taking us closer, but none of us binding us. None of them binding, none of them binding. Only if there is the correct understanding when practicing it. Because of course ignorance binds us. And so anything we do with ignorance, then that action may also bind. If we sadhana with the lack of understanding, maybe superstition creeps in, maybe fear creeps in. Superstition will lead to fear. Creep in. Attachment can creep in. That's because the ignorance allows that to happen. And it's ignorance that's binding us and not the path or the mantras or the tirtham or the upasana. Aham bhojanam neva bhojam na bhokta. We refer to it as the Triputi, the seer, seen, seeing, or here specifically, the enjoyed chocolate. And so, remember this, earlier I said duality, sense of difference. There's this constant sense of difference in the world of reality. I am different to everything. I'm different to you. I'm different to the world. Everything. So that sense of separateness in this quietness of meditation disappears. Now again, I'm going to... all these terms can be reflected on elaborately. You know, and Upanishad verses are just on this, the Triputi of enjoyer, enjoyed, enjoying. But here, we're negating it. So I'm not this. So I don't need to go into it. Because you've already understood what it is, and he's saying, Nirvana Shatakam is saying, that's not who we are. And so maybe we don't realize it, but it will pervade our thinking. The division pervades our thinking. Enjoyer, even just the feeling of enjoyer, pervades our thinking because it's linked in with desire. And then all the different vasanas in where I find my enjoyment. And so that whole line of thinking that comes in with enjoyer, I am none of all of that. So now there's way less thoughts. Because enjoyership thought occupies so much of the volume of the number of thoughts I have in a day. But we'll keep reflecting on verse number 5.
न मे मृत्यु शंका न मे जाति भेदः न मे मृत्यु शंका न मे जाति भेदः पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म न बन्धुर्न मित्रं गुरुनैव शिष्यः न बन्धुर्न मित्रं गुरुनैव शिष्यः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्.
I have no fear of death. This is really a place all of us would like to be at. All of us would truly be able, if we can truly say this statement, meaning it. Because, again, fear of death pervades so much of our thinking. And the recent pandemic really showed us that. And even in the fear of death is included fear of discomfort, fear of weakness, all of that. And I think it's Tukaram Maharaj who said, "My death has died." The only time we can truly be fearless if we know it doesn't stop us. Right? But if we do feel death is an end, it will cause fear. It's just natural, right? If something's going to end, then especially if it's my end, it's going to cause apprehension. It's going to cause turmoil. But if death's a non-event, then I don't fear it. And so I loved that statement of the Karam, "My death has died." And so this first line is really, I am not the body, because body is the one that dies. And then it's talking about all the varnas, the caste, again, associated with body. And then these roles that we play the role of a parent, so a mother or a father. And so many of the other relationships are roles that we play, all linked into body. Father is only because of the connection between body. Right? And then, in the same way, many of the other roles that we play is in terms of connection of the body. But here, na guru me neva shishya. Not even the role of guru and shishya. And this one may be not linked into body. Parents, siblings, cousins, all of that linked into body. Even spouse linked into body. But guru and shishya relationship not linked into body. And even that's the one that's emphasized here. And again, that sense of freedom. Like even this role is not going to bind you. Nothing in this journey that helps us to get to the point of freedom ever becomes a hindrance in the journey. In Viveka Chudamani, the Guru and Shishya meet, the exchange of knowledge happens, and then in Viveka Chudamani it is said, Guru walks in one direction, Shishya walks in another direction. Now a Parama Guru's life, Swami Shivananda ji, he met his Guru for a whole 5 minutes. And then they parted ways. And this, again, really depends on Dharma Shastra, Moksha Shastra, and how prepared we are. Yeah. The Guru takes away ignorance, gives us knowledge. If that knowledge leads to moksha, then it's like we sing, and we created these songs here in London, so you're very familiar. I am the wave, you are the ocean. And that's the feeling in the transactional world, relative reality. Guru has reached this wonderful state, I have not, I am a wave, I am a small bit, you are the entire ocean. But the purpose of the knowledge that the Guru is giving us is I get to, I am the ocean. Right? That's why I'm going to Guru, to get the knowledge of I am ocean. And then once I get to I am ocean, I don't say we are ocean. No. An ocean wouldn't say that. There's just one ocean. There can't be we are ocean. But our thinking in relative reality is that. In relative reality, I get to a certain, green belt, black belt. We are black belts. We are, professionals. We are. But not when we are ocean doesn't work. We are space doesn't work. Because we assumes different entities working together goes against the very grain of oneness. So now Guru Menaiva Shishya have become that one essence that pervades all of creation and sees no difference. But from a relative reality, we will always bow down to Guru. And until we get to absolute reality, I can't say I'm the same as my Guru. So, these roles that we play is body and mind. Connection is there to the body, but then of course the roles get played out in terms of mind and our thinking patterns. And here the idea is that the mind is so much more. We can drop body, and dropping mind sometimes not as easy. And I read a nice example to explain that sometimes we travel, we go from one city to the other, so came from Hong Kong to London, and jet lag, disorientation. So you wake up in the morning, so yesterday, well, it's been a while, but let's just, for convenience sake, last week I'm thinking, I am in Hong Kong. Then wake up here, and I'm thinking, where am I? I'm in Hong Kong? No, wait, I'm in London. So body already got here. Body is very much in London. Mind might take a while to orientate. Few seconds in the morning, but the difference between, they're not always so connected. And more importantly, mind is far more pervading. It can still be in Hong Kong, while body is very much here. So the I am in Hong Kong, I am in London. The common is? I am, very good. Couldn't hear y'all. So everyone in Hong Kong is still saying, I am in Hong Kong, even though I'm not there. And I'm here now, and after I leave, everyone here will still be saying, I am in London. So if in those few moments where the mind hasn't quite caught up, body is in London, mind is in Hong Kong, but truth, self, is everywhere. And so usually we get stuck with the body and feel rooted in one place or associate with those feelings, those qualities. And here the whole idea of Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham is drop. Drop the punya, drop the papa, drop the sadhanas, drop the bhoktatva, drop the sense of body deteriorating and dying, drop the sense of relationships played through the body and the mind, and stay in the I am, stay in the Shiva Aham. And that's to be able to just hear and then understand and then really just stay there is the journey. Shravanam Mananam Nididhyasana. But stay there. Stay in the Shiva Aham. But we can't, because I have to finish the text. So we're going to do the next verse.
Aham nirvikalpo nirakara rupaha. Aham nirvikalpo nirakara rupaha. Vibhuh vyapya sarvatra sarvendriyanam. Vibhuh vyapya sarvatra sarvendriyanam. Sada me samatvam na muktirna bandha. Sada me samatvam na muktirna bandha. Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham.
This is such a beautiful verse. This is mainly assertion. Aham nirvikalpaha nirakara rupaha. I am without thoughts, without modifications. The beautiful thing about Sanskrit is that each word has so many different meanings. I am sarvatra, all-pervading, free from any kind of upadhi. Upadhi is limitation. So body is definitely a limitation, free from it. The thoughts or the enjoyment through the senses, free from it. And then this line, sadame samatvam, I just always am. This is, in colloquial language when we hear people say, I'm like this only. Sadame samatvam. Like, take it or leave it, this is me. Of course, in the relative world, it's not true. We can change. We may not want to change, but we can change. At the absolute level, there is no change. It doesn't exist, right? It can't be truth if it's changing. So I just hung with the boat and put you on the boat. At least now you're not in the cold water being tossed about here and there with all the dangerous creatures going to eat you at any possible time. Now you're on the boat. But the ocean's still so vast. Like you can't even see the shore. And the whole spiritual journey is that with the help of Guru or Krishna in the Gita Dhyanam, the verse is given, takes us across this vast, horrendous, turbulent ocean. And then you reach the shore. You get off the boat. And you look back, and what do you see? There was no ocean. Oh, y'all never heard this before? You're looking quite shocked. Why are y'all shocked? Y'all know this. Relative reality is superimposition. It's snake. Did y'all forget snake? Y'all did. No, y'all didn't. You forgot rope. You totally got into the snake. Remember, there's no snake? How can there be ocean? When you wake up, it was just a dream. When you wake up, it was just a dream. When you're in the dream, you're sweating and screaming and the pulse is racing and all the rest of it. And so finally they're saying, yeah, there was never any bondage. And so how can there be moksha? So beautiful this verse is. Yeah. The logic is a little bit abstract, but earlier in 5 when we spoke about namrityu, well, there's no fear of death, though there may be physical death of the body. There was young midlife is when you start to become aware of the fact that I'm going to die. Or when people near and dear to us. And so the thought kept like a bee in it, that I need to figure out how to get rid of this fear of death. I need to figure out how to get the fear of death. And so he got permission from wife, parent, everyone, and he leaves on his journey to find somebody who helps him with this question that is causing so much havoc in him. After a few months, he finds a great master, and the master said, you left your house and came all the way here, but your question was the minute you had it. To get rid of the fear of death. Wanting to get rid of death is knowing that we wouldn't seek it unless we know it exists. So, knowing it exists, then only because I do not know. I'll only desire it if I know it exists. So I already know it exists. What? Deathlessness. How do you know it exists? Because we have it. Will you desire something you already have? I told you it's a little bit abstract. So, we already have it and cannot desire it. And there'd be no fear of getting it because we already have it. How do we already have it? We know it exists. Knowing it exists doesn't mean we have it. In this case, it does. Because it's my death. It's not an object. Then we forgot. We imagined this vast ocean with turbulent creatures. And then we got really invested in our imagination. We do, right? We get really invested. In anything that we create, we get really invested. Yeah. And here it's saying that Never mind, no fear of death. Death doesn't bind me because there's no such thing. It doesn't exist. Remember, all of these are at the level of where I have transcended thought. Why? Bondage is in thought. Transcend thought, and I'm free of it. What do I mean? If I'm angry, anything that makes me angry, then that thought of, no, I need a thing that's making me angry. Somebody insulted me. Now the thought of the person causes anger, frustration, irritation, insecurity. Yeah. The comment, the insult, is causing pain, hurt, rejection, which then is becoming anger. All of that is happening as thoughts. It's all happening as thoughts. Let's say that same comment, you such an idiot, right? You such an idiot comment causing me so much anger, causing me so much sense of being insulted, and not being recognized, not being validated. Now let's say it's my brother or sister that said it. Am I insulted? Some of you maybe. Me? No. It's that banter that we have with someone who's really dear and close to us, that we take it with zero seriousness. Am I having that avalanche of thoughts of you have insulted me? How dare you? I'm thinking, yeah, you're a big idiot. That whole thing of anger, all those thoughts that created the angst, is not being experienced. Bondage happens at thoughts. Same with fear, same with sadness. Even the feeling of I am body happens where? As a thought. Very, very subtle thought. Not even in the forefront of my awareness, but thought is there. I am body. Therefore, I have the feeling of being limited to this body. In deep sleep, I'm free from all of this. I'm free from the feeling of I am body. Free from all those angst of all the different types of emotions. Why? There's no thoughts. Okay. And so, as long as there's thoughts, I'll be bound? No. Just like when it's my sibling saying, you're such an idiot, I'm not. Because I don't take it seriously. We take our thoughts way too seriously. Usually they're lying to us. Our thoughts are telling us this is the way the world is. We believe the thoughts. I have a grandmotherly figure that comes to the ashram in Hong Kong on a regular basis. And very recently, very, very recently, something like 18 months ago, she said to me with this horror on her face, do you know there's fake news? It was the cutest thing. Because we know these sweet grandmotherly figures who believe everything that they get on WhatsApp. To have the realization that there's fake news and don't believe everything you get on WhatsApp, suddenly her world changed. It's up to us how seriously we take it. What are we talking about? My own thought. not some WhatsApp message. I have a thought, this person's so irritating, and then I believe my thought. I believe my own thought that this person is irritating. Why? It's just a thought. It need not be true. It need not even be paid attention to. We don't have that gap between me and thought to realize it's not true. And so, in Nididhyasan, to create that gap, thoughts come and go, thoughts come and go, thoughts come and go. I don't have to listen to them, I don't have to believe them, I don't have to act on them. Mananam, that's part of the Mananam journey. Having the thought come and looking at it and thinking, do I believe you? Yeah. Usually we don't. Usually the thought comes and we assume it's true. Yeah. That's why Gurudev gave us this technique of introspection. That's what we're doing in introspection. Questioning. Where did this thought come from? Why it's there? Is it useful? Is it true? None of the thoughts are true. Why will this one be true? Please note that. Like, it's not like one is more true than the other. None of them are true. Yet we take every single one as yes. And then feel bound. Are we actually bound? No. We're just feeling bound. Like a simulation program. We're feeling it. And that's why compassion, because we're feeling it. Is it actually true? No. Not at all. Yeah. Sometimes we organize a surprise party for someone, and then everyone else is so excited to give them the surprise, and then that person is thinking, everyone forgot me. No one's wishing me. No one loves me. And the whole day, such despair they go through. Is it true? No, so much excitement for the surprise party. But are they feeling it? They're feeling sad that everyone forgot them. The truth is, wait. But are they feeling it? Is it true? They're feeling it even though it's not true. We believe our thoughts. We don't question is it true or not. We just believe. Whatever our thoughts are saying, we believe. Yeah. Negate. When that thought comes, check. Useful thought to act on in this world? No, negate. This is not me. Anyways, I'm not any thought, but maybe some thought comes that's useful. Then use it. Otherwise, Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham. Shivoham. Only when we stop believing our thoughts will we be able to truly open our mind to receive that which is already there. Our eternal freedom. Unfortunately, we have to pause here. I'll do the Shanti mantra, then you do announcements. My gratitude to Gurudev for creating constant opportunities for us to stay in satsang and more for me to reflect on such a beautiful stotram. My gratitude to all the gurus from which I've learned Nirvana Shatakam, Guruji, Swamiji. And my gratitude to Chinmaya Mission London for continuing Gurudev's vision and work. Hari Om. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Krishna.
You will all join me in expressing our gratitude to Swaminiji for being here and sharing her reflections on the Nirvana Shatakam with us, and for all the knowledge she's brought to us. Today, Swaminiji will be handing out the Prasad Pustika, so in a few minutes, you will all have the opportunity to come up and get her blessing and Prasad, and I hope also in your expression of gratitude and in offering your Guru Dakshina. There were some envelopes here for Guru Dakshina yesterday. If you haven't got one or if you need one, please come up to me and we will be able to help you with that. Today's talks were sponsored by Gitanjali Deepu Mirpuri, Saheli Kishan, Namu and Cairo. I am not sure if any of you are here at this moment, but we are very grateful for that. The Prasad Pustika today is sponsored by Priya Murjarya and Bhavan Madasya. I hope I've got that name right. Yeah. And also I would like to again mention the upcoming evening talks with Swaminiji, which are next week, starting next week, 31st, 1st, and 2nd, on the spiritual secrets to happiness, which is on the internal and eternal happiness that the scriptures can bring to us. I think that there is also a chick camp, which is on the 3rd and 4th of June, and I will make sure I get the topic right. It is relationships, and someone mentioned to me that I said camp. It's not a camp, it's a workshop. So I don't want to make that mistake again. On relationships, the reality behind successful relationships. So I hope those of you in that age group, or if you know anyone in the 18 to 35 age group, would like to know about this. Again, thank you very much. We will set up Swaminiji's, she will be seated here in a second. Just give us a couple of minutes. Thank you so much again for being here and for coming to these 3 talks. And we hope to see you here next week for the evening ones as well.